I'm Joe with Gramophone. We're here at CEDIA 2024 with another Joe. Joe from Wisdom. Joe,
nice
how
to see
you doing?
you, Joe. I'm doing fabulous. Thank you very much.
Great to see you
Hazen.
again.
That's right.
As you know, we do a lot of custom work at Gramophone, and a lot of times people don't really want to see things if they don't have to see them. You've got some really interesting small aperture products to show us, so maybe we can start here.
Right on. So this is our Sage minimal appearance product. And what's great about this product that's different from the competition, number one, it's Wisdom, so it's going to sound fantastic, right?
Right.
And the way that we do that is we use a planar magnetic driver. So this high frequency driver, instead of being buried back in the aperture, it's right at the surface of the ceiling. So you get very wide dispersion, which means from a designer standpoint of the competition, you might have to put 12 speakers in a ceiling to get good coverage with no hot spots. You can put half as many holes in your ceiling with our product and get better coverage and way better sound. And because of the design of this and where it's mounted, we don't require you to use any DSP. You can use anybody's amplifier. You just need a crossover between this box and our subwoofer, right?
Okay.
We have multiple options as far as grills and design and mounting go. 5/8 inch and 1/2 inch gypsum. So if you have a sheetrock ceiling, we can cover that. We do 3-inch, 4-inch round or square grills. We can also do solid surface. So if you got a tongue and groove ceiling, you know, wooden, steel, whatever it is, we have a kit that you can use for that as well. One of the things that we're showing at the show this year is now we can do custom wood grills. That's something that we were not able to do in the past.
Love it.
But we just built our own wood shop in our factory.
Okay.
So not only are we building our own subwoofers now, but now we're doing custom cut grills. So this would be what a grill would look like for something like this. You would send us the wood, and we cut the grill exactly for the client to match that ceiling for you, right? So that really gets it to another level of customization. The other thing about our product is it's a 2.1 system. So typically you'll see one box that has a woofer, a mid, and a tweeter in it. And physics say if you got a woofer that's this big and you're trying to put it through a hole this big, there's going to be a trade-off, right?
Yes.
So actually our woofer in here is the same size as this hole, so you don't have that trade-off. And then we use a subwoofer to complement the high frequency drivers. And even using a subwoofer, if you had 12 of the other guy's speakers in your ceiling, you could put 4 of these and 2 of the subs, so you just have 6 holes instead of 12,
right,
and get way better sound and just as good a coverage in the whole entire space. That's a huge benefit of our
Your
product.
ceiling obviously would look better.
And your ceiling going to look better because it has fewer holes in it.
Yep.
And I know from a designer standpoint, less holes is always better than more holes.
Always.
And from a cost standpoint, even though our product is a premium product, if you got 6 less holes, it's going to end up costing less money in the end, and you don't need any special DSP with our amplifiers to do that. We make them, but you don't need to use our particular amplifiers to have the best possible performance either, right?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, I know we're doing some upgrades to our Wisdom Theater in the Timonium store.
Yes.
So maybe we can kind of start talking a little bit about the Sage Cinema series and some of the things that you're doing that you're introducing new at the show.
Yes.
We'll also be upgrading in our showroom in Timonium.
So the first big change that you're going to see in the Timonium Theater is in the past we had what we called a system controller, right?
Yes.
So a system controller was like a 3 RU box, and you had to run your preamp into that and do all your settings in there, and then go out to your amplifiers. Well, now what we've done is we've taken all of our amplifiers and we built all that DSP right into the amplifiers. So the number one benefit is it eliminates one box in the chain, right?
That's right.
So you can come out of your Macintosh, your Trinov, or your Storms, or whatever you have, and run directly into our amplifier. The amplifier then has a drop-down menu that has all of our speakers in it. You just pick the speaker, and it'll automatically load the profile for the speaker into the system, and that's it, you're done.
So that the amp with DSP in it is now mated perfectly to that speaker.
Now made it perfectly to that speaker. And even beyond that, one of the big things that we're doing now is we are using FIR filters in our amplifiers. And it's a technical term, but basically it gives us perfect phase matching for all of our speakers that are in a system, whether it's a line source or whether it's a point source, which have 2 different phase profiles. And if you're using point source in the ceiling for Atmos and line source for your bed layer, those 2 don't always work well together from a phase standpoint, and you can have really weird stuff.
Sure.
By having FIR filters built into all of our DSP amplifiers for all of our speakers, we eliminate all those phase problems, so you get much better coherency, the vocals are more intelligible, imaging is spot on, flyovers work really well. We're the only company that does that.
Wow.
So we have that specific to every one of our speakers, built into all of our amps, have FIR filters for every speaker that we make, including subwoofers.
So we're going to get better performance out of both speakers and subs from an actually, installation-wise, a simpler approach.
Less products in the rack.
Less products in the rack.
Less copper, less boxes.
Love it. Love it, Joe.
The other big benefit is, so we're going to swap out the stuff you guys have with all the new DSP amplifiers. One of the other things that we do on all of our DSP amps now is we use Dante as well. So like a Storm Evo, you can just use Cat 5 and run all of your system with audio over IP. You don't even have to have XLRs anymore, right? So that's a big benefit with our DSP amplifiers. Plus these amps are flat stackable. You can see we got a whole stack of them right here. They don't have fans in them. We build all of our own amplifiers in-house in Carson City. So these are American made, American design. We don't off-the-shelf our amps from anybody else. They're all our design, all our manufacturing in-house in Carson City.
Quality control is totally
Quality control, everything's 100% tested before it ever leaves the store, or ever leaves the shop. That's
Love it. And we've got some subwoofer things to talk about.
We have 2 new subwoofers, one of which is going to be in your new showroom. So for years I've been saying I should get a commission check from JL Audio because I've sold a lot of their 2x4 in-wall subs.
That's right.
Because we've had a 2x6 sub. So in the Timonium store, you guys have 2 of these in that back hallway firing through a wall, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll show you what you're going to get in replacement of that, but right now we've got a brand new product called S57. So this is a 2x4 in-wall sub. It uses our 10-inch driver, and what's great about this is it's an RTL sub, so it's a regenerate transmission line subwoofer. It's the same driver that we use in that little Insight S10 and powered S10 over there. Those things play down to about 35 hertz.
Okay.
But by adding in the transmission line and the regenerate transmission line, we're now getting good solid bass at 25 hertz out of these things. So it's almost a whole nother half an octave that you get because of that transmission line design. This is a $2,500 retail sub. You can run 2 of these off one of our little DSP amps, one of our little single channel, which is about a $7,000 retail package, and it will just crush the competition in this 2x4 type in-wall sub.
And as I say, that's a 2x4 stud bay, which is really important because there's a lot of situations where it'll take some major surgery to get that one in.
Correct. If you don't have a 2x6 wall, this isn't going to work. And that's why I say I've sold a lot of JL Audio subs because they make a good 2x4 in-wall sub. And we actually used their sub as a reference when we built this thing. So we're well below their price and well above their performance. And what's unique about how these install, a regenerative transmission line sub does not have cabinet resonances like a traditional sub, like a ported or a sealed woofer. So you sheetrock up to the edge, you paint right over, this becomes part of the wall. But because there's no resonances in the cabinet, you don't have to worry about your paint cracking, your sheetrock and your mud and all that kind of stuff breaking off. It's just going to stay that way forever and look great and sound great and be hidden away.
I love it, Joe. And back to the conversation about your amps with DSP, you're getting the most out of this driver that you can in the new enclosure that happens to fit all these standard walls.
All these standard walls, that's right. Beautiful. That's something that we haven't had in the past with a super high performance 2x4 in-wall sub. So
love it, and
now
at
we've got it.
Price.
Yes, a reasonable price, being built in-house by Wisdom Audio in Carson City, Nevada, in our new wood shop.
Love that part.
That's awesome. That's right.
Okay.
Come around the corner here. So this is the brand new SRS subwoofer.
SRS, okay.
So this is a dual 10-inch RTL sub. There's 4 vent options, so it's very versatile with installation. We put handles on it, so the techs, when they're out there, they can actually pick the thing up and move it. It's not like that one where it's like, oh my gosh, right? Monster. We've got speaker inputs on both sides, so again, it's very flexible with how you can hook it up. Plus, you can daisy chain. So if you had 2 of these right next to each other, you could use a single amp channel, run 2 of these woofers. You go in one side and then come out the other side and hook up the other sub.
Wow.
Which is really nice, really a nice feature of that. And like I said, the 4 vent holes, so the side, top, the other side, and then the bottom. So you can orient this thing in a wall pretty much any way you want and be able to utilize it. This we came out with really in the designing of theaters with big video walls, right? Because you're starting to lose a lot of space on the floor, on the sides. So you have to have stuff that can fit in smaller locations. So this gives us a way to really get high output in a much smaller cabinet than an STS, right? This thing plays 125 dB at 20 hertz.
I was going to say, when you're talking high output, you literally mean 125 decibels at 20 cycles,
Yes.
which is the lowest, the deepest bass frequencies, at least in theory, that we can hear. Of course, bass below that you can actually even feel, but that's a tremendous amount of output.
Tremendous amount of output. These are 96 dB efficient too.
Wow.
So that's a lot of free power. I mean, an STS is 101 dB.
Yes.
But at 96, you're still getting a lot of free power just because of the efficiency of the drivers. We've partnered with Sony this year at the show, so we
Yes.
have a full theater at the CLED demo
We
room
saw
over there. And so if you've had a chance to listen, there's 4 of these in there.
Okay.
2 of which are going to end up in your showroom. So
Okay.
we're breaking them in for you guys.
Thank you.
Just want you to know that.
Pre-broken in, gotta love that.
Yeah, but you know, one of the big benefits, one of the big benefits of an RTL sub is they're very low distortion.
Yes.
They have 3 resonant frequencies, so they have a very wide frequency response. And from a musician standpoint, I play guitar, mandolin, and stuff like that. But when we have people out that listen to our products that are actually musicians, and they're like, "That really sounds like bass. It doesn't sound like one note pressure. It sounds like real. I can hear the guitar, right? I can hear the bass guitar going up and down." And part of what we do as a company that's very important is calibration.
Yeah.
So not only do we make the great sounding products that really work well together, but we have a lot, I mean, between the 4 of us in the US, probably 200 years of experience in doing calibrations in rooms, right? Probably done 2,000 rooms between the 4 of us. Like,
Okay.
a lot of experience. And that really is what ties all these things together. We don't use the easy button. We do it all manually, phase alignment, you know, level, delays, everything, make it all work together and sound as good as it can sound. And when this stuff comes out to Timonium, and we bring all this in, I get to come in and do all that for you guys. And we'll do a little training on site and really work with the guys and show them our process for that as well.
I love that, Joe. Joe, we're going to look forward to seeing you come to Timonium because
Yes.
I enjoy your company and I enjoy the way that you talk about audio. We want to thank you for taking this time with us at the
Absolutely.
Wisdom booth, and we want to thank you folks for watching this video. We really appreciate it. If you can, like and subscribe. That helps us out a lot. We look forward to showing you more video content from CEDIA 2024.